From deputy to president, Obasanjo's secret role revealed. Welcome to EloPace TV. Today, we've got a very interesting story for you. One that has stirred conversations across Nigeria and even beyond. Former President Goodluck Jonathan has openly stated that Olusegun Obasanjo, former president and political heavyweight, played a major role in making him president. Yes, you heard that correctly. Jonathan himself described his rise to the presidency as a miracle, facilitated by divine intervention, but with Obasanjo acting as a key human instrument in that journey. So today, we are going to unpack what Jonathan said, explore the context of his statement, discuss the reactions from Nigerians, and analyze the implication for politics in Nigeria today. And of course, we will look at what this could mean for Jonathan's political legacy. First, let's set the stage. Jonathan made these remarks during a public event highlighting the role of Obasanjo in his political career. He said that when you look at how he became president, the man who made him president was right there, referring, of course, to Obasanjo. He described Obasanjo as a father figure and explained that God sometimes works through people to achieve great outcomes. Jonathan's words were striking because they openly acknowledged what many have long suspected, that Obasanjo's political influence, guidance, and support were critical in Jonathan's rise from deputy governor to governor, then vice president, and finally president. It's a rare instance of a former president openly giving credit to a political mentor in such direct terms. Let's take a step back and look at the journey itself. Jonathan's rise to the presidency was quite rapid, and many describe it as almost miraculous. He began as deputy governor of Bayelsa State in 1999, then became governor in 2005 after the impeachment of Dieprie Alamiesega. From there, he was elected vice president in 2007, and following the untimely death of President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua in 2010, Jonathan became president. By 2011, he won a full term in his own right. The speed of this ascent is impressive and somewhat unusual in Nigerian politics, where career progression can often be slow and heavily influenced by political godfathers and party structures. What Jonathan meant by Obasanjo made me president. It's important to understand what Jonathan meant by saying Obasanjo made me president. He did not mean that Obasanjo literally installed him in power outside constitutional or legal processes. Instead, he was speaking in political terms, mentorship, support, endorsement, and guidance that helped him navigate the complex terrain of Nigerian politics. Obasanjo, known as a kingmaker in political circles, played a role in supporting Jonathan's position as running mate for Yar'Adua and in fostering the environment that enabled Jonathan to ascend to the presidency. So, this statement highlights the role of political godfathers in Nigeria, influential figures whose backing can dramatically alter political outcomes. As expected, Jonathan's statement caused waves on social media and among political analysts. Some people praise him for his honesty, saying it shows transparency about how political careers often depend on mentorship and support. Others criticized him, suggesting that admitting such heavy reliance on a godfather diminishes the image of independence expected from a national leader. Political analysts point out that such relationships are common in Nigerian politics, where loyalty networks and godfather influence can affect appointments, policies, and governance decisions. Jonathan's acknowledgement reinforces this understanding and reminds the public how intertwined mentorship and political opportunity can be. This revelation is not just a story about the past. It raises questions relevant to Nigerian politics today. How much influence do political godfathers still have over elected officials? Are leaders making decisions for the people or to maintain loyalty to their mentors? And what does this mean for accountability and governance? The issue of godfatherism remains significant. Even as political reforms are discussed and elections are held, the dynamics of mentorship, backing, and influence continue to shape leadership in Nigeria. Jonathan's statement reminds everyone that while elections determine outcomes, political support networks play an equally vital role. Another interesting aspect of this story is how it affects Jonathan's legacy. Public perception may be influenced by this statement. Some Nigerians may admire his honesty and willingness to acknowledge the role of mentors. Others might view it as evidence that his administration was under the influence of powerful individuals, potentially questioning the independence of his decision-making. It also invites discussions on the nature of leadership. Can a leader be fully independent in a system heavily influenced by established power brokers? Jonathan's candid admission opens up the debate for both political analysts and the general public. Lesson for young Nigerians and political enthusiasts. For young Nigerians watching this, there are some clear takeaways. First, networking matters. Having the right mentors and supporters can open doors. Second, mentorship is invaluable. Guidance from experienced individuals can accelerate a political career. 3. Timing and opportunity are crucial. Jonathan's rise shows how circumstances, chance, and divine timing can play a role. 4. Understand political realities. Navigating Nigerian politics requires awareness of loyalty, influence, and strategy. Jonathan's story demonstrates that success is rarely the result of personal effort alone. It's a combination of opportunity, mentorship, support, and timing. Political experts have weighed in, suggesting that Jonathan's acknowledgement is both rare and instructive. Rare because most leaders rarely give such public credit to mentors. Instructive because it highlights the continued relevance of godfather politics in Nigeria. Analysts argue that Jonathan's rise would not have been possible without strategic endorsement, party support, and guidance, all elements that Obasanjo and other influential figures provided. This reflects the broader reality of political career. Leadership depends not only on competence, but also on social network, endorsement, and timing. Finally, let's consider governance. When a leader acknowledges the influence of a mentor or godfather, it can have implications for policy and administration. Questions arise about independence, accountability, and decision-making. Does a leader feel obligated to support the interests of those who helped them rise? How does this affect appointment, reforms, and national priorities? These questions are not theoretical. They are practical concerns that affect citizens and governance quality. Jonathan's statement invites reflection on how political systems operate and the influence of mentorship on leadership decisions. So, there you have it, a comprehensive look at Jonathan's statement about Obasanjo and what it means for Nigerian politics, from Jonathan's miraculous rise to presidency to the role of mentorship, public reaction and implication for governance and legacy. This story is a reminder of the complex web of politics in Nigeria. If you have been watching up till now, you are MVP. Thank you so much. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. It really helps the channel reach more viewers and continue bringing you these in-depth stories. Stay tuned because politics in Nigeria never sleeps, and stories like this continue to shape the narrative for generations to come. Thank you for watching. God bless you.